Hey everyone, welcome back to Seabird's podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Wright, and today's guest is Tara. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Brooke. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, can you tell our listeners what inspired you to write Chasing Through Time?
Okay, so I've been a junior high teacher for a very long time. So this is year 17, I think,
Mhm.
and I'm surrounded by teenagers. So I've noticed in the past, like probably since COVID, especially, but even 10 years, the last 10 years or so, so much has changed for kids, and most of it I felt like connected to this constant use of social media.
Mhm.
So I just had this idea one day, and I've always loved writing. And my husband was like, "Well, why don't you just like write a book?" I was like, "Okay." And I just did it. I sat down and I didn't tell anybody but my husband, and I just wrote it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. So, so, did you base Emma or Sarah on anyone you know in real life?
um, well, Sarah, because she lives in 2001, definitely connects most to me. Like there are definitely parts of my younger self in her. A little bit more exaggerated to get my point across, but definitely I would be most of the inspiration for her. And Emma, who lives in 2022, would just, I think, be a massive compilation of people I have come across when I've taught. So not one person, just little tiny bits of a whole bunch of kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what grade did you say you taught?
I teach mostly grade 9.
Grade 9? Oh,
But I've
wow.
taught
High
7,
school.
I've taught grade 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, what's the hardest part about writing this story?
I guess trying to get my elder millennial self into the mind of someone who's a teenager now.
Uh-huh.
But I actually have a group of students who helped me bring Emma to life.
Oh.
So I had one student in particular, she had my manuscript, like she was the first one to read it, and she kind of took my lingo and fixed it. Like, no one would ever say this. No one would wear this. So, yeah, she helped me do that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Hmm.
Cause yeah, it's like different from now versus, back when we were in high school and stuff. Like
Absolutely.
I didn't know what on fleek was. I had to
Oh,
ask
no.
my 20-year-old cousin what on fleek was, and she
Yeah.
explained it to me, and I was like,
I'm like,
"What?"
oh, yeah. I know you're getting old. We're all getting old, and it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So that was very helpful.
So, what themes did you most want to highlight?
I think the main one was just the social media theme,
Yeah.
like how this is affecting kids. And I
Oh,
just
yeah.
felt like there's no other YA books that are really exploring that, which
Mhm.
it's such a pivotal part of kids' worlds now. Like
Oh, yeah.
really their life centers around what's happening on their phone.
Mhm.
So that was the main thing I wanted to get across, is just what types of things I'm seeing is happening to kids because of this reliance on tech and social media.
Yes, and
Mm,
it's amazing that you bringing this up because when I'm in high school, I mean not high school, when I'm in college right now, one of my classes is exactly about that, and they, my instructor asked me, what influence do social media have on kids now? And I'm like, I don't even know.
yeah.
Like, and then I'm like on social media, and I'm like, it has a big influence on kids now,
Mhm.
like on their lifestyles and things like that, and I'm like, I didn't even realize that until
Yeah,
I
it's crazy. Like their screen times are out of this world.
it
It's
is.
it's crazy.
Man, so what
Yeah.
challenges did you face, weaving two different timelines
Yeah.
together?
Honestly, following the dates was really hard for me. I had like my calendars open, and because I tried to show like each chapter was them on the same day, but
Oh.
obviously 2 decades apart. So I actually followed calendar dates to make sure that that was accurate.
Oh.
And then just trying to get their stories like to weave together at the same time. So while they're living these completely separate lives, 2 decades apart, how could I make them also connect at the same time? So
Oh.
that was very challenging.
Oh, okay. Man. So
Mhm.
how did you decide which era to set Sarah's story in?
Well, I'm going to age myself right now, but I graduated high school in 2002.
Okay.
So it just made sense to me to place Sarah at that time period because I can speak to that time period.
Mhm.
And then the 2022 I chose because that was when I was writing it. So that's what I was seeing right at that time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. You know what? This is the questions aside from the questions, but you
Yes.
look like you look like Jessica Biel. I was looking, I was like, she looks
Ah,
like Jessica Biel.
oh, thank you. I'll take it. Thank you.
I told my friend, I was like, I'm about to interview somebody that looks like Jessica Biel. And he was like, really? And I'm like, yeah.
Well, just spread the word about that because I've never heard that one before. But thank you.
So, what research did you do about high school life in 2001?
um, None.
You didn't?
Because I lived it.
Well, yeah.
So I just like tried to take myself back there. I know I was trying to like, what was I wearing in 2001? Like, what types of makeup was I wearing? What was my hair like? What were my clothes like? And a few people actually who read it who are my age said like, oh, like when you said the lace tank top, we used to wear these like
Yeah.
lace tank tops underneath our shirts that would just poke out the bottom. That was really popular. Like I remember that. Uh, so yeah, I just basically took myself back 20 years to when I went to high school. Yeah.
Oh man, that was a long time
Hmm.
ago. Cause I
Yeah, it was.
graduated in 2006, so I'm not far
Okay.
behind you.
Yeah. Oh, it was a long time ago. I know. Just time moves very fast.
So, how did you think social media has changed teenage life since 2001?
So I guess that's what I was trying to show too is like 20 years isn't really that long. Like
Mhm.
it's not a crazy amount of time. So I wanted to show how yes, Sarah in 2001 and Emma in 2022 have a lot of similarities. Like teenage girls kind of go through these similar experiences with the friend issues and the insecurity and just figuring yourself out. So
Mhm.
I wanted to show those similarities, but then that social media piece just makes it so much more challenging now.
Yes.
Like
Oh yeah.
everything's recorded. Like you can't escape from it when you go home.
Mhm.
Like in 2001, if things were crappy at school, you go home and that's it.
Yeah.
You could just shut it out. And
Mhm.
now it's just like constant. They're constantly connected to that and they never ever get a break.
Yes.
So I think that makes that insecurity piece and that friendship piece so much more challenging than it
Yes.
was in 2001.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
What did you choose why did you choose a snowstorm as a pivotal moment for their connection?
So when I started writing the book, I was right smack dab in the middle of winter, and
Mhm.
I live in Alberta, Canada, so it gets very cold. Um, and I remember getting to that part, and it was like just really snowy outside, and I wanted to create just like this kind of bleak, dreary mood, and I just like went with snowstorm.
Oh.
Yeah, there was honestly no like that was not. I didn't know that was going to happen until I got there. I
Oh.
wasn't sure how I was going to have them connect. And then I just happened to be writing at that time and it just happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what message do you hope readers take away from the story?
Um, I think the main one is that, well, there's two, I guess. So I find this is a YA book, but I also think it's very applicable for adults. And I've actually had a significant amount of adults read it and take a lot away from it.
Mhm.
I think so. If from the adult side is just like watch what your kids are doing,
Oh
check in
yeah.
on your kids, have conversations with your kids. You might not think that these things are happening, but this like they're struggling and there's lots of things happening behind their screens that I don't think people are fully aware of.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's one. And then I guess just for kids, like there's so much more beyond what's happening on your screen.
Yes.
and and also like being a teenager is really hard, but it's also very short.
Mhm.
So while at the moment it feels like it's the end and it's nothing's ever going to get better,
Mhm.
it will get better.
Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah. So, did you outline the plot before writing, or did you just unfold? organically?
Yeah. A little bit of both. So I had an idea, like I would have a little document going where, Emma, Sarah, Emma, Sarah, Emma, Sarah, like kind of what was going on, like just kind of the gist of what was happening. But then, like I said, with the snowstorm, sometimes when I start writing, things just happen. And so things just unfolded naturally that way as well.
Oh, okay. So what character did you relate to more, Emma or Sarah? I
Yeah.
remember you said Sarah
Mhm.
was like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm much older now. So Emma, I don't really connect with. I just see traces of Emma in other kids, but Sarah definitely, like, she's very shy. She's very insecure with herself. She's struggling to find her way. And I definitely connected with, that's how I felt when I was younger. Um, just painfully shy and awkward and, yeah. So I definitely connect with Sarah more.
Oh, okay. So can you describe the relationship between Emma and Sarah in 3 words?
Okay, I had to really think about this. Okay. So improbable, obviously. Um, it is a contemporary story,
Mhm.
meaning it's like, yeah, it's very real, but also we have this like fantastical element. So their
Yes.
friendship's improbable, but it's very genuine.
Mhm.
And it ends up being life changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I can't wait to read this book.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
although I'm like old, I
Mhm.
still want to read it.
Yeah.
I like young adult books.
I also love a young adult books, but this book too, because there is that like second point of view, I feel like adults can really connect with both. Like
Yes.
it's definitely a crossover.
Yes. So how did you capture the feeling of isolation that Emma
Mhm.
experiences?
So this, I honestly would just like sit with the feeling. So I tried to remember like all those feelings when you're a kid, like just trying to really bring that back.
Mhm.
And then like, how would that feel in my body? Like
Yes.
I would sit there and like how would my heart be? Like what would be happening with my heartbeat? How would my stomach feel?
Mhm.
How would my shoulders feel? Like I would just like sit in with that feeling. And it was really important for me to get emotions across,
Mhm.
because I wanted people to feel those feelings. And that was kind of my process, is if I was feeling this, how could I describe this in as descriptive as possible so other people can feel it as well.
Oh, okay. So, how important is it to you, was it to you, to include a digital
Mhm.
technological, I don't know how to pronounce that one, I pronounced it wrong, element in your story?
Well, yeah, that was the whole point. And I thought, like, so yes, I'm trying to show like the dangers of technology, obviously,
Mhm.
but also using the connection between Sarah and Emma happening over MSN Messenger, which is really like one of the first ways that kids started to communicate online,
Mhm.
to show that there's also like this brought them together. So there was also this connection piece.
Mhm.
So while yes, I'm showing the dangers, I'm also showing that there is some good of it, because it did lead to this connection between Sarah and Emma.
Oh, okay. So, do you think Emma's parents' distance played a big role in her struggles?
Yes. And that was purposeful, because the disconnect from technology doesn't just affect kids.
Mhm.
I think it affects adults as well. And, I've been to, my kids' dance or, one of their activities, and you see parents sitting there scrolling on
Yeah.
their own devices. And I think that that creates a disconnect between families as well, which I wanted to show that not only is Emma disconnected, but her whole family's disconnected from each other. And then Sarah, her family didn't have that same disconnect. So she had support when she was struggling, whereas Emma did not.
Oh, okay. So, what would you say to young readers who feel isolated like Emma?
Mhm. I think just reaching out to somebody, like anybody. And again, like I said before, yes, being a teenager is hard, but it's short.
Mhm.
So while it might feel awful right now, looking back, like once you move through it, it's so short and things get better.
Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
Were 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 there any scenes you had to cut that you wish you
Mhm.
could have included?
Yeah, looking back, like this was my first book. I've never done anything like it. I did have some more like flashbacks into like how both Emma and Sarah were before they were in like found themselves in the difficult positions that I started them in.
Mhm.
And I wish I could have shown that to highlight more how their life changed in this high school at this 1 year, like with all of their friend issues and all of their stuff going on. So I wish I could have included more of that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So did you always know how the story would end?
Yeah, I knew pretty much exactly where
Mm.
it was leading to the whole time. Yeah,
Oh,
again, some things like I took little twists that I didn't know what happened. Like I would take a little detour, but I knew what the ending was going to be.
oh,
Mhm.
nice. So
Mhm.
what does friendship mean to Emma and Sarah?
It's yeah, for both of them, it's just like that anchor to help them through that challenging time. So their connection with each other is what allowed them to be able to navigate through their difficulties.
Mhm.
So having somebody to confide in, having somebody to go to, they became that for each other. So it was extremely important for them to get through their challenges.
Okay, okay. So how does Sarah's story parallel Emma's?
So yeah, like teenage girls, I feel like there's so many similarities
Mhm.
still in what their life is like. So both of them were struggling with friends. And I see this constantly. Like girls, their friends change. They're, this person's, your friend one day and then the next day they've ditched you for this other person. And
Mhm.
like that still happens. And I remember that happening to me
Yep.
and how terrible that was. So they both are going through that same thing. And then that like insecurity piece that just, comparing yourself to others, you know, uh,
Yeah.
feeling like figuring yourself out how you feel in your body and how
Yeah.
your confidence and all of those things. So they go through those exact same things.
Yeah. So how did you balance hope and despair in the narrative?
Um, I know like it gets really dark at certain points, which was purposeful. I wanted to show how things can escalate to that point of like complete desperation. You're low as low can be. And then I just wanted to make sure I ended on like not necessarily like a very happy, happy ending, but a hopeful ending
Yes.
where maybe not everything is perfect and everything is fixed,
Mhm.
but there's hope that it will get better.
Oh, so
Mhm.
I do have a question to ask you. It's outside of the questions.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a second story to this, or like a sequel or anything
Yeah.
like that?
So there's not a sequel.
Mhm.
However, I am completely finished my second book that takes place in the same world.
Oh,
And there's a couple character crossovers, and it's the same small town. So I'm keeping it in the same world. Yes.
oh, okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
nice. So,
Mhm.
was there a particular scene that was emotionally difficult for you to write?
Yes. I don't want to give away too much. I don't. Do we do spoilers here?
No.
um, yeah. Yes, there was one that was very hard to write, and I had to really like sit in those emotions and show like the lowest of the low. And
Okay,
I'll leave it at that.
okay, that works. That
Yeah.
works. Did you have a favorite scene to write?
I really like, so there's this build up of them like building their connection and what their life's like now. And then they both go into this like flashback scene of like, what was the moment where everything changed that they found themselves in this terrible situation. So Sarah tells Emma her story. This is what happened to me
Mhm,
to bring me where I am now. And Emma went back and told Sarah hers and what brought her there. And I really liked writing those scenes because they were a little bit more dramatic.
mhm.
Um, yeah, those were my favorite. Yeah.
So, what was the first image or scene that came to your mind when you started writing this
Yeah.
book?
It was me standing in my high school hallway
Oh,
and like
wow.
people all around.
Oh, wow. Like how they
Yeah.
have them in movies, how they
Yeah.
walking past you and you're just
Yeah.
standing there?
And
Oh,
that's
wow.
how the book starts, actually. It was in that hallway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
hmm
So how would you describe Emma's journey by the end of the book with no
Um,
spoilers?
yeah, no spoilers. So she goes through a lot. Um, so she hits her lowest point, and then the way that it ends, like it's an ongoing journey. Her journey is not complete. However, as I said before, she hits that low point and she leaves with some hope. There is some hope that things are going to get better, but her journey is definitely not done.
Oh, okay. Okay. So do you think Emma and Sarah would have been friends if they were in the same
Mhm.
timeline?
Honestly, I do not.
Really?
No, I don't think they would be, simply because of where Emma's headspace was. She
Oh.
was completely shutting everybody out, and Sarah would have been too pushy for her, I think, because Sarah was like determined to like break through Emma's shell. And I think the um an anonymity, so speaking of pronunciation, being anonymous,
Uh-huh.
like not being face to face and being able to communicate with Sarah through MSN Messenger,
Uh-huh.
I think helped her open up. But I think in real life, she would have just shut herself out from her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait. So okay, so one of them is in
hmm
2001 and then the other one is in what year?
2022.
22. Wait, we still have MSN Messenger?
No, so you'll, if you read it, you'll see it's like an old computer, her dad's old computer.
Oh.
It still has, all the old games on it. It's one of those big clunky computers. He has it stowed away in the basement.
Okay.
And the freak snowstorm kind of opens up this computer. So a very fantastical element that is not
Ooh.
possible. That's why their friendship's so improbable. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, I can't
Yeah.
wait to read this
Yeah,
book.
so we
This
go
is
back to like MSN Messenger time. Yeah.
oh
If you
man.
were there.
I remember those times.
Yeah.
So what do you think the biggest challenge facing teenagers today?
I think that extra element of social media making it more challenging to deal with just the issues of being a teenager,
Mhm,
that inability to disconnect from, your struggles, that comparison piece also, like just especially for girls. I think of myself in high school. If I was on Instagram viewing all of these people's highlight reels, all of these influencers,
mhm,
like I was already painfully self-conscious of myself. So to have that added piece, I think is very difficult. And yeah, just that constant connection to everybody and everything.
okay, okay.
Mhm,
Yeah, I agree.
mhm.
So did any real life events or news stories influence the plot?
Yeah, I guess like pieces of things that I've witnessed firsthand was definitely part of it. Also, things that I've seen on social media myself. Just I follow a lot of people who are now just starting to study and like really get behind the research of how tech affects kids. So I read a book called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, which is like huge right now. And
Mhm,
a lot of the stuff he was talking about really connected and resonated with what I wanted to communicate.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, I think it's just becoming more prevalent every time you turn on the news now and read things in the news, that there are these things that we're now starting to figure out. Like we gave all these kids, the world at their fingertips, the world in their back pockets,
Mhm.
and nobody knew just how harmful it was going to be. And now people are starting to see it. So
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
kind of pick through all of those things and it gives me ideas.
Oh yeah. Like people say that you can block things online, but it's
hmm
still like it still sticks with you what they say.
hmm
Like even though you block that person, it still sticks with you when they say, "Oh, you're fat," or
A
"Oh,
hundred
you're
percent.
ugly." And I'm just
hmm
like, you can't just block that out.
No,
Like
the
it's
damage is done.
yeah.
Yeah. And when
It's
you're a teenager, you haven't yet developed the confidence to like, oh, whatever, I don't care what that person says.
right.
Because you do. As a teenager, you're painfully conscious of what other people think of you. That's
Oh
just part
yes.
of the territory.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Mhm.
So how did you decide what the digital connection between Emma and Sarah would look like?
Yeah, I guess I was trying to think back in 2001, we didn't have a ton of tech like we do now. And MSN Messenger was really becoming popular at that time.
Mhm.
And that was the first, time that kids could like go home and like go on MSN Messenger and talk to their friends. So I remember doing that, except I had dial up internet. So I was not able to really use it that well. Um, but I'm like, that was the only really thing around at that time. So I took that and like, how can I make that possible in 2022? It's not going to come up on a phone. So then I had this computer stowed away in the basement of Emma's house. Yeah.
Nice. So
Mhm.
what's the significance of the title, A Chasing Through Time?
Yeah. I struggled with the title. Like I really struggled. Like my second book, I knew my title like day one. This one, it took me forever. And I wanted to have this idea of time, obviously.
Mhm.
And I was like, is she traveling through time? No. And like, really, the whole thing is Sarah. Because she is in 2001, she is trying to reach Emma, who's like struggling way more significantly than she is. And so she is literally trying to chase through time to get to Emma and try and help her, especially as things escalate. So finally, I kind of got there. I had chasing time for a while, but it's the through. Like she has to somehow get to
Yes.
her, even though they're so far away.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So I know we talked a little bit about your newest book.
Mhm.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that without giving any like
Yeah.
spoilers?
So it's same place, same world, same kind of idea of tech, but like much more extreme.
Oh,
Um, so this instead is like connecting with people who you don't know online.
mhm,
And the main character is a girl who like has a lot of pressure placed on her.
mhm.
She's a perfectionist. She's expected to be the best, and she kind of gets so overwhelmed she ditches that whole idea of perfection and starts to make some not good choices
Oh,
that lead her down a really dangerous path.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's intense in a different way than chasing through time. It's not cheerful. I don't know. I can't write cheerful books apparently, but
And when is this book expected to be out? Like,
hopefully before Christmas. Hopefully sometime in the fall, early winter. That's kind of the plan.
ooh, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, I feel like I was much more confident with the second book. Like I kind of figured my way, and I'm very excited to get it out there.
Ooh. So what advice would you give inspired writers?
I think just like don't wait. Like I've always loved writing. My auntie is an author,
Oh,
and I saw that growing up. And I just like went to university and became a teacher. I'm like, I can't be a writer. Like, not
man.
me. And I think like I wish I wouldn't have had that thought. I wish I would have said like, why not me?
Mhm.
And started much earlier. So if you want to, just do it. Like
Yeah.
just have to start writing. I literally sat on my couch while my kids were watching TV one day and just started writing. And
Oh,
then this happened. And yeah, it's awesome.
man, that's
Yeah.
great. So what's the biggest lesson you learned while writing Chasing Through Time?
I guess the lesson was that like this is what lights me up.
Mhm.
I love doing it. I have so many stories like planned out and that I want to tell, and I know what I am passionate about now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if your book was to be made into a movie, who would you cast as Emma and Sarah?
Yeah, I struggle with this one because I am so far removed from who is like the cool authors or the cool actors. I don't know. Um, so I could think of no one. I was searching actors. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. So I would have to do some significant research for that one. Yeah.
The way you describe like Emma and Sarah, I would say Emma is like what is her name that played Hermione in
Oh, that
Her?
would be so great. Oh, what is her name? I love her.
Oh,
She's just so much older now, though. So I'd
I
have to get like young
know.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And Sarah would yeah, she has like Sarah's like darker hair, like again, like me before all the grays and stuff came in, but um I don't know, like a young like Christina Ricci, like when I was a kid, she was
Yeah.
like big. Like, oh, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
but
see
we
that too.
yeah.
So what do you think makes a compelling friendship in fiction?
I like the idea of an unlikely friendship.
Mhm,
So even in my second book, my main character has a very unlikely friendship. It
mhm,
just it doesn't seem like it should work, but it works. So Sarah and Emma are obviously very unlikely friends,
mhm.
but it's the authenticity of that friendship and the genuineness of that friendship, the openness of that friendship that I think makes it very compelling and that people can relate to that.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So what do you hope readers feel when they finish the last page?
Um, I guess like I hope that they're willing to have some conversations.
Mhm,
That's really like the goal is like how can after you read this, what conversations now can you have if you have your own kid or if you are a kid? What are some things that you can self-reflect on your own behavior on technology? And just that like even if you feel like you're alone, you're
mhm.
not. Like there's somebody out there. There's somebody that cares for you to be around.
Yes.
Mhm.
So how has writing this book changed you?
Yeah. Um, I love writing so much. So it's just made me really excited. I think like I do like teaching. There's a lot of things I love about teaching. And obviously if I hadn't become a teacher and like gone through all the experience as a teacher, I wouldn't have written Chasing Through Time
Mhm.
because it was my experience as a teacher that drew to it. But I am so excited about getting Chasing Through Time out there and getting the second book out there, and I'm just ready to keep going.
Yes,
Yeah.
amazing. So, can you my last and final question before I let you go, where can my listeners find your
Mhm.
books?
So it is on Amazon, Barnes and Noble online as well for American customers, and then in Canada, I'm on Indigo online as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
gonna go get it right
Yeah.
now.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
So I want to thank you so much, Tara, for being a guest today on my podcast and chatting with me about your book.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You were easy to talk to, and that was so fun.
All right, you have a good day.
Yeah. You too. Thank you. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, I want to thank you all so much for listening to my interview with Tara. If you would like to purchase her books, she already told you where to go purchase them. So, yeah, definitely go look that up. See you next time for the next interview at 3. Thank you. Bye bye.